Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a new recipe that I just saw and I had to try it. It is called sugar cream pie, or at least that was the official name when I found the recipe, but it's kind of like creme brulee in a pie form. And creme brulee is my favorite dessert of all desserts. I mean, I love chocolate. I can take cake or leave it. I'll eat it, but it's not something I just want. Pie, I love pie. I love it more than cake. But creme brulee is the pinnacle for me. So when I found it in pie form, I had to try it. So it's really easy. It has heavy cream, and I need to use this heavy cream. So perfect timing. Vanilla, sugar, cornstarch, melted butter, and that's all for the filling. And you gotta use a deep dish pie crust, which I got one of those on my grocery haul you probably saw. And it needs to be deep dish, so I had to buy the frozen ones because I do not have a deep dish pie plate, or I would have done it in a pie plate of mine, but all of mine are like this deep, and that's not gonna hold it. So I had to get a deep dish one. And then for the topping, it's cinnamon and sugar, and that's it. So really easy. I'm gonna whip it up really quick. You gotta cook it on the stove and then bake it in the oven. So let's get over there to the stove and get it in the oven so that it can chill and we can have it for dessert tonight. I'm so excited. So the first thing you do is you set your oven to 325, and you're gonna go ahead and put your pie crust. Normally I would flute these edges, but it's frozen, so I'm just gonna stick it in there like it is. It doesn't have to be pretty. And you're only gonna bake it, I forgot I had this in here, seasoning this pan. So you're only gonna bake this for like 10 to 12 minutes, and just till it's partially baked. So I'm gonna set a timer or I will forget. 11 minutes, we'll go with 11 minutes. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get the topping ready so that when the filling's ready and I get it in the pie plate, I don't have to waste a whole lot of time. So it is a half a cup of sugar and like a teaspoon or so of cinnamon. You can probably hear Willow whining because she's in her kennel because it is such a pretty day out. The girls are out there free ranging, and I don't want to take a chance on her just try to play with them and end up inadvertently hurting them. So if they're out free ranging, she has to be put somewhere where she can't get out the door because she can open the door. So there you go. Okay, so we're just gonna set this to the side. That's our topping, because you know creme brulee has like the sugar on top that gets torched, so we're gonna use a broiler for that. So in the pan, you're gonna get a saucepan on the stove, and let me get my instructions here. What does it say? 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're done with sugar and cinnamon. Those can be put away. And 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. This is a 2 tablespoon, so 2 of these. Willow, hush. All right, 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. Done with that. It says to do this in a bowl, but I'm not gonna dirty up a bowl and then put this into the saucepan. So I'm just gonna stir it together in this saucepan before I turn the heat on or anything. All right, and then you're gonna add, this is 4 tablespoons or half a stick of butter that has been melted. You're gonna add that in. And then 2 1/4 cup of heavy cream. One, 2, This pie is gonna be so rich. I'm gonna have to brew coffee just for this pie. And then we're gonna bring all this together over a medium heat. And it says to stir constantly, and then this is done when it is thick and creamy. So I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch me just stir while this thickens. So we'll come back when it's thick, and we're gonna stir in the vanilla, pour it into the pie crust, and bake it. All right, so we got it all thick now, like a pudding consistency. You gotta be careful because when it pops like that, if it pops on you, it will blister. So we are going to go ahead and turn off the heat. And then we're gonna stir in the vanilla, and it's calling for 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Typically I don't measure, but this is the first time I've made this recipe, so I will measure this time. And I got my pie shell here I pulled out of the oven. Ooh, I can tell it's gonna be so good. Get this all incorporated, pick it up off the heat. And then we're gonna put it in the pie shell. Make sure the vanilla is stirred in good. Okay, kind of smooth it out a little bit. Then for the topping, we need another 4 tablespoons or a half a stick of butter that has been melted, and you're going to very carefully drizzle it all over the top. Don't spill. And then you're gonna take your cinnamon sugar mixture and do this. And that butter is gonna absorb it like a sponge. And this is gonna become that crackly, crunchy top like you find on creme brulee. Okay. And then we're gonna put it in the oven and we're gonna bake it for 25 minutes. Okay. Okay, so 25 minutes is up. I'm gonna turn this off. We're gonna turn the broiler on high, and we are going to broil it for like a minute or so, keeping an eye on it, and so we can get that nice crispy, crispy crust. Looks like it spilled into the bottom. I should have put a cookie sheet under it, but we're just gonna watch that for a minute and then take it out. Okay. Woo. Now I have to clean the bottom of the oven. Okay, it's really liquidy like, so it will cool. I've set a cooling rack here so the air can get up underneath it. And we're just gonna let it sit like that. Turn this off. Yeah, so there we go. It's gonna sit there and cool to room temperature. And then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator, and it has to cool and set in the refrigerator for a minimum of 1 hour before we can cut it. So I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit. I'll probably move it over there, but I'm about to use my mixer to make pizza dough for supper. So once I get the pizza dough finished, I will just pick this whole thing up like this and move it over there off of the hot area and let it cool all the way down. and then refrigerate it, and then later tonight after we eat dinner and clean it up, then we can try it. I am so excited. It smells so good. I cannot wait. Okay, it's the next day. We did cut it last night and had some after supper, and it was so good. I'm so glad I found this recipe. So today I decided to try it with fresh strawberries on top, because when you get creme brulee, usually there's some fresh berries on top. So I thought, I have strawberries, let me try that. So we're gonna try it with the strawberries today, but this is what it looks like. It's thick and creamy. It's very creme brulee tasting. I probably should have left it under the broiler just a little bit longer than I did to kind of get it a little more crunchy on top, but I was afraid to. The broiler kind of scares me, but next time, I know now for next time. And then I have a cup of coffee here to go with it. It is so, so good. So we're gonna get a strawberry. You have to try this pie. If you like creme brulee, you have to try this pie. It is so good. The strawberries really make it. I should have done that last night.
Mine kind of fell on the floor.
Yeah, he dropped his on the floor.
I tripped.
Because he wasn't sitting at the table like he's supposed to.
Nobody else was.
Yeah, but you have to sit at the table. So good. Try this. You have to try it. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Love you.